What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another Minecraft video today. We're in all of the Mons. Yes, this pack has been a ton of fun and it has challenged me to no end. This is the first time I've ever made Steam Engine. And even though our farm over here for Pokeballs was an epic fail, I learned a lot from it. So yes, this pack is challenging, but I've had a ton of fun. Now, in between episodes, I've decided to expand our applied energistics system. And yeah, I've got a bunch of cables everywhere now. And this is mainly so that I can have lines, multiple lines. I'm not done yet. I've got the things for the most part where I want them. This middle thing is actually going to be changed here in a minute. Or maybe not in a minute, but in between episodes. This is going to be like a data center coming straight down. I'm going to add more colors to it as well. I like the blue and white, but I'm thinking about maybe adding gray as well, maybe red. But yeah, this has been a ton of work, but we're getting there. But we need to get Pokeballs automated, and that's what we're going to do today. Or at least we're going to attempt to, because I'm still not entirely sure what I'm doing. But we're gonna try. Alright. So, ball. Alright. So, our ultimate goal is to make the Master Ball. This here. But boy, oh boy, does this take a lot of stuff. It takes unobtainium. It takes Master Ball lid, another star. And just to get the Master Ball lid, it takes white apricorn bits. It takes shulker shell. Polished quartz, which we do have automated, so that's already done, and netherite, which we also already have automated. But we don't have half the stuff for this. So if we go in our quest book here, we could see that we have these here. Now, we've completed this. I've just got to complete the dependencies for it. And right now, one of those is an apricot chip. So we need to go ahead and make the precision sawmill real quick. Very easy to make. And we just need a Pokeball. Okay, we got, or not a Pokeball, a apricorn. We just need some apricorn. Perfect. Thank you very much. All right. So let's take our precision sawmill right over here just so it gets power. And this isn't going to be the permanent setup. I just want to complete this. So we go ahead and put this in, and for some reason, we don't have enough power for this to operate. You've got to be kidding me. How do we not have enough power for this? What if we put it like, right there. Okay. Cool. Don't know why it didn't work the first time, but that's fine. Alright. We are going to need a massive power upgrade here soon. Alright, so that gives us 2 half acorns. Then we go ahead and put them in again, and I believe this is how we get the bits. So we can complete this quest and get all this done. Alright. Yes, this is how we get the red apricorn bits. Still not entirely sure what these are used for, but we got them. Alright, so that's how that is done. And we will set up automation for this here in a bit. But let's go ahead back to our quest book. We can now claim our XP reward. Claim our bits here. Claim our blank ball lid. Alright. And now this entire tree is done, but yet it's not, because we have no base Pokeballs being made. So we've got to think about that when we do these things. And out of these, I'm not really worried about any of these Pokeballs for the most part. Maybe a quick ball would be nice. Maybe we try and automate this, but we are not doing the create route. I've decided we're going to go Oritech, which is another mod that I have never dealt with. So yeah, so we need an assembler, obviously, and we need a whole bunch of other stuff for this. So I'm going to go through, and I'm going to get everything we need, and we will go from there, because like I said, I've never, and I mean I have never played with Oritech. All right, everyone. I went ahead and I've got patterns and stuff crafted up for us so that we can set up this room. Now, it is not finished, but I've got the floor, I've got the ceiling, and I figured we might as well just start and figure out how we're going to set all this stuff up. Because like I said, I've never played with Oritech before. So this is a learning process for me, so please bear with me. For the most part, I do know some of the things that we'll need. And I went ahead and I set up some things for this. So we 100% need an assembler. So we can go at Oritech, and I went ahead and I've made patterns for these things here. We still need to make a pattern for carbon fiber strands. And we also have to make these, which is something we'll have to do here very shortly. But for now, we're going to use basic machine cores because they're really simple to make. Let's go ahead and make ourselves an assembler. And let's also go ahead and get ourselves 3 cores. So we'll go ahead and make 3 of these. And this will be our very first machine for Oritech. So the assembler is our very first process. Now this one, since it's not very good, we'll just do this here. And then I think we go like that. Click. And there we go. All right, we got our assembler. Perfect. All right, now we have to use this to make things. We also have to give it power. Do I happen to have any points? I do. I have 1 point. Okay, cool. I guess we'll just put that in the back here. Actually, put that right here. Okay, up to our main network. There we go. It's charging it up with power. All right. Now, we've got to make things. All right, so in order for us to make a brass ball, it goes in the assembly, which means we need this recipe here. Okay? In order to get this recipe, we're going to need brass ball base, which means we need an atomic forge, or we make ourselves this here. We could use pressing on a stamped brass nugget, which I don't want to use create in this. So we are going to make the atomic forge. It's just we have to get all of this stuff for that to happen. Yeah, fun. So how do we get duradium? However you say that. It looks like it comes in a dust form. Okay. How do we go about getting it? Just period. Okay. Alloyer. All right. Platinum ingot and netherite ingot. Okay, so we're going to need a foundry. Okay. That shouldn't be too bad, right? We'll just go right down here. We'll make ourselves a pattern real quick of this. All right, there we go. We've got everything as a pattern except these things here. We'll go ahead and get these a pattern as well. Electrum, we definitely do not have a pattern for. Okay. Set it up this way. And then how do we get the seed? Reinforced electrum blocks? What the heck? There's got to be an easier way. Electrum dust, gold, and silver. Okay, we can do that. That's easier to do. Okay, recipe for silver dust. Okay, I believe we have silver automated. I think we do. Okay, and then we need gold dust as well for this. Okay. Go ahead and we've got gold ingots that are already automated. Okay. Now we just got to put all these things over here. There we go. And then we go ahead and we go up here. In order to get the actual brass ingot, we have to take the brass or the electrum dust and we have to smelt it. Electrum. Okay. So we go in here and we do this. So this is how this is done. I imagine it will probably be a little bit faster in our blast furnace. We'll go ahead and put that there. All right, so now everything should work, and we should be able to get ourselves a foundry, I think. Okay, let's make one foundry. Hopefully that works. If we did everything right, it should. Okay, perfect. And that worked as well. All right, so now we've got the foundry. How many machine blocks does this take? It takes 3 machine cores. Okay. Go ahead, place that there. We are going to need more machine cores. Okay. 4, and then let's make, you know what? Let's just get 50 of those made. They're really simple. We only need 3 of them. All right, and now we just click, and there we go. We've got the alloyer. Perfect. And actually amazing at the same time. All right, this mod is really cool so far. Like, really, really cool, and I'm enjoying it. All right, so we got that there done. Now, one thing is we don't have a good way to get power. So we could do logistic cables. I think that's what they're called. Mechanism. Yeah, we've got some of these advanced ones, so we could use this to power up our stuff. Right? Yep, there we go. Power's going through it. All right, great. So we got this set up. Now we just have to put the recipe in, and it will do its thing. Okay, so we need silver, right? I think it's silver. Alloyer, platinum, and netherite. All right, platinum. Do we happen to have platinum automated? We don't. All right, so we need to make platinum essence so that we have a steady supply of this. Okay, that's definitely something. We need some premium essence. Okay. Okay, we have exactly 4. That's crazy. Okay, we need a seed as well. All right, there we go. And we can go ahead and get platinum autumn. All right, so I now have a pattern set up here for this. I have not tested it yet, so let's see if it works. It is called Durantium, and let's just make one, see if it works. Okay, it's doing something. Okay, and now does it automatically go back into our AE system? It doesn't. Okay. Okay, is there a way that we can set this up so it automatically puts it back in? I don't really know for sure. Okay. Oh, we can open this up. Okay, cool. Maybe it has to come out on the bottom. That's the case. We're gonna have to make that room a little shorter down there. But we can technically do this. Put that there, here, and it's still technically not coming out. Okay, that's unfortunate. Okay, I'll have to see how exactly this comes out. Go ahead and leave this here for now, and we'll go ahead and put our machine block back. Like so. All right. Now let me look, see how this comes out of here. Because I'm not really sure, because usually it just automatically pulls the stuff out, but it doesn't look like Oritech allows that function. So I'm gonna have to figure out a different way to do this, unless there's an add. All right, I got this figured out. All we have to do is add an import bus, an import bus. So anything that happens in here, it just automatically pulls it out, and it'll send it right back to our AE system, which is amazing, our ME system, whatever you want to call it, our applied energistic system. Okay. So I wonder if we're gonna have to do that for every machine that we use. And if that's the case, we're gonna have a lot of devices on this one singular 32 channels because we've already got 3 of 32 channels used. Oh boy, this could be something. Well, I guess we technically could run a white cable in here or whatever other color we wanted and just add more channels to this room. But for now, we've got this here. All right. So we are still trying to craft the atomic forger, okay? So we've got duranthium ingots. That's fine. Perfect. We've got that. But next we need plastic sheet, which looks like this here or this here. Okay, it did give us another option here. Drop sheet. Okay, I don't know. I don't want to get into immersive engineering. I just don't want to do immersive engineering. So we'll do plastic sheet. We just got to figure out the best way to do this. It looks like we could do polymer resin. That doesn't seem... Okay, no, it still requires a lot for that. Okay, so we've got to figure out how we want to do the plastic sheet. Energized smelter, polymer resin. Okay, so it looks like we could do polymer resin. It requires sand and this light naphtha bucket. I have no idea what that is. What in the world is naphtha? Refining. Oh, great. Not exactly what I thought I'd be doing in today's episode. Okay. Is there like a really easy one? Heavy oil? No. I have no idea what heavy oil is. Okay, I guess we could do biofuel. Let's see how we make the one for Oritech. Biofuel, okay, so it just looks like normal biofuel, which is made in a crusher by just squeezing like baked potatoes or food and stuff. I mean, that shouldn't be too hard. Sure, we've got, abundance of something that we could do. Like short grass, maybe. Okay, this shouldn't be so bad. Just gotta find one that we want to do. Is pumpkin a thing? Because I got pumpkins. I got plenty of pumpkin. Jack-o'-lantern pumpkins, but not just normal pumpkin. Okay, rotten flesh. I think rotten flesh is the one that we'll do. So let's go ahead and save that. Let's also get the crusher. We'll have to also make that as well. Okay. So I think rotten flesh is our best option because I think it's something we have here. Yeah. I know there was a reason why I saved rotten flesh from our mob farm. All right, so we've actually got a use for our thingy now. Okay. So we want to go ahead and make a pattern for this. Okay. Great. Okay, biofuel pattern. All right, we got to go ahead and make the crusher as well, which means we need basic control circuits. Okay, let's go ahead and get another pattern provider. Okay, go ahead and make, let's say make 100 of these. Nope, we can't do 100. We don't have enough stuff for 100. Make 50 of these. Okay, there we go. I gotta go in, I guess, change it so it accepts substitutes. Probably is what I have to do. Okay, one of these. All right. Now up here in our patterns, the next thing we want to make is we want to make a pattern for these. So it takes redstone. We have this here. I think this will work. As long as we put redstone in it, I think it should work. Grab our metallurgic infuser. And for now, we'll just set it up like this. In between episodes, I will set this up a little bit differently. And it actually looks like we've got one already working. So I'll just use this for now. I think this is one of the last machines I have to make from this mod. So yeah, we'll just go ahead, let it do its thing. And then I'll set up that in between episodes because I don't think you guys want to watch me set up all of this stuff. Unless you guys do. Let me know down in the comments below. All right, we just need one more bucket of lava. All right, lava. There we go. Perfect. Now we've got our crusher. And now this is going to be part of our system up here. So we definitely want to hook this up into our one of these lines. So we'll go ahead and place it here, and we'll just configure the sides of it. So we'll go this here. All right, auto eject on, and we'll go input / output. Not really sure which side is which, if I'm going to be honest with you. Okay, we'll leave that like that for now. Bottom we'll do input output at the bottom. So then we can go ahead and put our pattern provider on here like so. Perfect. And now all we have to do is give this power. And for now, until I craft the more of these up, we'll just go up the wall like so. Okay, there we go. And that will give that power. Right? Should. But let's set a priority of this of 100. Then we'll just set it back down to 0. All right, so this now has power. Perfect. So now we can go ahead in here, put our biofuel processing pattern using rotten flesh. And now we should be able to go in here. We can search biofuel, and we should be able to make ourselves 10 of these. Perfect. All right, it is working. Very good. All right, nice. And then it should also automatically pull it out. It does. Great. Now we can upgrade these mechanism in machines, but for right now, I just want to get this up and running. That's my goal, so that we can get ourselves, hopefully, quick balls made today. All right. So that's making the biofuel. One more thing off of our list. Great. Go ahead and delete that. Now, what else do we need for this? Plastic sheet. Got biofuel being made. Okay. Okay, we got biofuel being made. Now, in a fluid separation, we need biofuel and sand. Okay. So now, fluid separation. Okay, so we're going to need some centrifuge. Okay, let's get 3 of these centrifuges set up. I believe I have these here. Yep, I do. We're going to need 3 of these. Okay, it says no crafting CPUs available. What do you mean? I've got so many CPUs available. Okay, I'll wait for this job to get done. Okay, great. Now we can do 3 of these. All right. Now all we have to do is wait. And I guess we'll have to have infinite water for this. So we're probably going to want to sink. Yeah, that sounds probably a good idea. Get a sink, and we'll set this up in here somewhere. Okay, get this set up, I guess. All right, so in order for us to be able to add fluids to these, we first need to make a fluid add-on, which is this right here, which means we're going to have to make the carbon fiber strands. So we're going to have to stop ignoring it, and we're going to have to just go ahead and get those started. So in order to make this, we need these, which is done with a centrifuge. As you guys can see, it takes cold dust for this to work. Okay, and in order to get coal dust, we need ourselves a crusher, which we already have. We'll go ahead and just use the one that we have set up in here for this to work. Go right here, go ahead, add that there. And maybe in the future, we'll have that sped up some. And then this one here for now, we'll set that up in there. So now we should be able to go in here and we should say, all right, make us one of these missing powdered coal. Okay, I guess I have the wrong one in here. Okay. Get ourselves powdered coal. My bad. I didn't know there was a difference. Okay, we need powdered coal. I'm guessing. Okay, powdered. I'm spelling that wrong. Of course I am. Powder. Oh, that's withering powder. Blind. Guys, I think I might be blind. Coal dust. Okay, no, that's right. Processing pattern. Oh, okay. I see the problem. Block of coal. Coal dust. This is right. This is gonna be one of those things where it's not gonna work right. I'm gonna have to do something else to get this to work. Maybe. Who knows? Maybe. Right. Let's see if we can get ourselves one of these made. If not, we're probably gonna have to. Yep. Okay. So we're gonna have to get ourselves an ME requester. I believe this is how this works. I've only seen videos on this, so please don't get mad at me if I'm completely wrong here. And we'll hook this up somewhere along here. Now, I guess we can add it just right here. I'm going to be moving all these things anyway. So in here, we could say, okay, we need coal dust. Okay, coal dust. Coal dust. We need this here automatically done, and we want at least. Okay, why won't it let me change it? Okay, we want amount. We want at least 1,000 in here, and batch size. Yeah, that's good. All right, so locked. Request in progress. Okay. So now that should keep us 1,000 coal dust in our system at all times. Okay, so if we go in here and we search coal. Okay, so we've currently got 2 coal dust. Okay, we'll see if I did this right. If not, I'll go back up here and I'll edit it as much as I can. Let's go ahead and change that to 64. Lock, request in progress. Let's unlock it here. Okay. Let's say 64. Batch size is a 60. Oh no, it's not letting it be 60. Okay, it's going to do singular ones at one time. Great. Amazing. All right. So at least that's doing its job. At least that's doing its job, okay? We can't be mad at it for doing its job. All right. I'm going to go ahead and let that do its thing. Maybe we hook up another crusher for this to work. Maybe. I'm not sure. Let that do its thing. I'm going to work on getting the rest of it. All right, we've got this working. As you can see, it is making them. Now, it looks like we're going to have to do the same thing with this one. We're going to have to put an importer on for this to work. Or, I guess something else we could do instead of importing them. This is probably better. Let's go ahead and get a drawer and set in front of these with pooler upgrades. I think that'll work out way better, and we could just physically see how much is where. Yeah, I like that idea better. All right, we now have these fluid add-ons, and from what I understand, you just set them down like so? Question mark? Yeah, all right. So now this has a fluid add-on, which means we should be able to put our processing one in this one. Also put our sink down for infinite water, hopefully. Then we also have fluid pipes from this mod that I'm going to try and use on here. Okay, and then we should just click that. Okay, we can see that this is now full with water. Okay, now in order for us to make biofuel, we have to do this here, and this should work. I just realized this pooler upgrade isn't going to work here. We need to get ourselves a fluid drawer, actually, which we have one in our inventory. We are not in our inventory, but our AE system. So we just need to go ahead and go fluid drawer. Okay. Then we could place this right here. The same thing in this one, add that there. And as you can see, we have 1 bucket of biofuel in it. Now we need to go ahead and lock this because we always want this to have biofuel in it. We also want to link this up to our main system, which should auto-complete this. And as you can see, we can pull it out by the bucket if we want. Then we can go right here and just add it back in. Perfectly easy and perfectly fine. So now we have the biofuel thing done. We will have to cancel that craft because it won't automatically come. But there we go. We've got biofuel. Now we have to take this biofuel and we have to put it in this one, which will make us our polymer resin. So I do have one more fluid add-on because we're going to need that. Okay. And now we have to go ahead. Let's just double check to make sure we're doing this right. In order to get this here, we're going to need this polymer resin, which in this recipe takes biofuel, sand, and this. All right, so let's add that. Okay, we have it on our list. All right, so let's go ahead down here, add this to our thing here. Now, one thing we might have to do is we're probably going to have to want to make sure we get biofuel. We do. All right. I'm going to go ahead and see if this one will work like this. I'm not sure if it will. I'm not entirely sure if it will work the way I'm hoping it does. But we can go ahead and try. If not, there's another way that we can do this. So biopolymer. Oh, it's a resin. Okay, and let's go ahead, just craft one of these. Okay, it does automatically do it. Perfect. That saves us a bunch of time. Now we just take this here, go ahead and add that there, and now we can mass produce these things as much as we need. Perfect. All right, so we do actually need to mass produce these because we are going to need for this here, actually we don't need 2 of them. All right, so now we've got 3 of the 4 things auto-crafted. Next, we need to do the Endrick compound, which actually isn't that hard. This one here is actually super easy. We just need Ender Dust, which we have plenty of, or we have plenty of Ender Pearls, and we could just use a Crusher for this. So let's go ahead and do this here. One thing I'm slowly realizing is we're probably going to need more than what we currently have as far as drawers go, unless we just set up a centrifuge for each one of these, which I guess technically we could. We could just have like a little factory here set up for it, which we might do, but we can go ahead and add this up here. Perfect. And now technically in this one here, we could add our recipe for these because they're that easy. Yeah, so let's just go ahead and do that. Go ahead and add that to our thingy there and get that ready. All right. Now, I believe all we have to do is set up the processing one for this one. And then we should be able to go ahead and get everything done for this. So we have this here. All right. So now the uses for this is this here. So we go ahead and we do this, and we'll go ahead and add this over here. Perfect. All right. Now, here comes the issue. In here, for our next recipe we need to make, these have to be defined. So, how do we go about doing this? That I'm not entirely sure yet. I think we utilize an ME interface. I think that's probably our best bet. So we go here and we go, okay, we put an ME interface right here. Because then we could say, hey, we want these things here at all times. And it's currently off, so we can go ahead and define these here. So for these here, we have to make these. So we're going, but in order for that, we have to make this. So we need plastic sheet, carbon fiber strand, electrum, and of course, redstone. So let's go ahead and add these here. There we go. Let's add that there. Our strand, we also want to add. Strand. Okay. Electrum. Okay. I guess it would help if we spelt that right. Most likely. Electrum ingot. Okay. And then redstone's the last thing for that. Okay. All right, perfect. Now we can go in here. And we can do this number right here. Right. And then I believe that's it. And we could say, hey, we want to maintain one of these at all times. All right. Now in here, now this does have power at the moment. So we're actually going to remove the power. Place that there for now. Don't want this to have power. Please lose power. Either that, or maybe I could break one of these and it'll lose its power. Nope. Okay. Maybe that will use its power up. Okay, I gotta go around them. Fine. Fine, you win, Block. You win. Okay, there we go. Now it has no power. So we want it to allow this to do its thing with us defining the first slots. And then, once we hook this up, we should probably actually move this back to here. And then use an item pipe for this. And it should be able to keep up and go round robin. And it should keep stacks in at all times. I don't think this one needs a pattern provider. We'll have to wait and see, obviously. All right. Let's get this put together and let's see if I'm dumb, smart, or indifferent. Now it's time to see if this works. I've got this hooked up like so. I haven't defined the spots yet, but the spots go like so. If I remember correctly, and we will double check this. All right, we did it. Now we're going to go ahead and use our pipe wrench. And we're going to say, go ahead and pull out of that. And it should, theoretically, we're probably going to have to get an upgrade as well, which we just so happen to have here. And we'll go ahead and make sure that it is clean. And we will go so. Go ahead and add this. And we will say round robin, because we want that to distribute evenly around all of them. I guess it isn't going to do that until it gets all 64 of them done. Oh, it is waiting for these to be auto-crafted. I have them set to auto-craft. Why aren't they auto-crafting? Okay. Light issue. Maybe we have to go in here and say, hey, we want those things to constantly have a base of 100 in our system at all times. Maybe that's how we go about doing it. I guess let's do this. All right, everyone. We've kind of got a backlog here. It's crafting things, but it's not. It'll have to be something that I work and optimize in between episodes. But for right now, I want to at least get these blue mechanism things done and crafted. And we should be able to do that. All we have to do is connect power up, which is right here. Perfect. Now this has power. And as you can see, it is crafting up these processing units, which is exactly what we want. Now, I am going to need a drawer. I believe we still have some in our inventory here. Perfect. We'll go ahead, place this right here. And we'll place these in. And then we'll go ahead and grab ourselves a puller upgrade as well. And we'll have this pull from the west. All right. And then there we go. So this will always keep this stocked. Hopefully it will keep it stocked. I have this Emmy requester trying to keep up with things. We'll see if it does its job. But yeah, we've got these here auto crafted. The next thing we have to do for this is to make the flux gate. But we're going to have to do this another day, because this opens up a whole nother door. And as of the moment, I'm all out of time. But we've got a very decent start into Oritech. So, if you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like and subscribe button down below. Oritech is now up and functional. I will work on some of the things in between episodes, like maybe I'll set up the automation for some of the things that we'll need, and we'll get right into making Pokeballs next episode. If you guys enjoyed, hit the like, subscribe button. See you guys in the next one. Peace.